Welcome back to another episode of Narrative. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow so you don't miss an episode. Today, I'm joined with Kevin Lowenthal.
Hi.
Kevin is a friend of mine.
Deeply.
And an amazing artist. And I met Kevin like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like it's like 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Like right when I moved back to New York.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it was pre-COVID, but like in a way that felt like even farther, or it's like the same distance from COVID now than it was then. If that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah. No. We met, I think, at a bar in Bushwick.
Somehow I can't remember that because I feel like I remember through like our mutuals.
Yeah, I remember it was through our mutuals, Sophie and Jake, and then I just remember it because like of this guy that I also ran into that night. And this is pre-Jeff.
Oh,
yeah.
I also always forget about that too, which I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, I feel like Kevin's like one of the only friends that I hang out with that like knew me and Jeff both separately.
The pre-Jeff era.
Before we started dating and since we started dating.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, we've known each other for a while. And I feel like when I first met you, you were making more sculptural work.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like it was like at a period of time where I feel like I was like less concerned with the object existing past my making of it. And I think it's like comes from a lot of different things, I think, but it was also like I was at that time the archivist at James Cohan, and I think it was making me think about like the idea of like archiving something like every day to then like make an object that is going to be archived theoretically, and it felt really like masculine in a kind of negative way. And I think it like it brought up a lot of interesting, or like it just brought up a lot that I didn't think about until like moving past it, where I was like, oh, this is probably from a lot of like other like personal reasons why this is happening versus like making a concrete statement, planting a like flag in the sand, where I feel like that now, where I feel a little more able.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like when I first met you, you were making like a lot of bricks, like paper pulp bricks, and like really cool like purses made out of paper pulp, like a lot of different kinds of objects made out of like also like weird. What other materials were you using during that time?
I think it was like I feel like I was interested in the like idea of turning something into like homogeneous goop. So it was like I was making stuff out of like vegetable pulp because I was like really into juicing. So like I like juicing as a thing is like quite iconic to like separate its solids from its liquids and be like, I have two things now. And it's like the wet parts and the dry parts.
And one of them's valuable and one of them is
not.
trash.
No, literally. And then I want the trash because the trash is iconic. But it's like essentially what I was doing was boiling all this like vegetable pulp in borax. And it's like you can use borax in like dye to like essentially set your dye. But essentially it would just like it would change the like acidity of it so that it wouldn't rot, basically. Whoa. So it was this like vegetable pulp that was like permanently going to just like exist, and it like never molded or rotted. It was making these kind of bricks out of apple pulp where it's just like just apples. So I was kind of like, how can I just compress every object of my life into a brick format and then also remove all of its liquid? Which was, yeah, it felt very funny to do. But I was also it's weirdly the same thing though, where it's like to make bricks is like to make a thing to make another thing, but also to be able to take it down and remake something else.
Oh my god, you just blew my mind. What? No, I feel like that's what's really interesting about your work is I feel like there's like what it looks like, and then there's like I think you're such like a builder, like a world builder in the existence of the objects themselves. And I feel like it also connects to like your interests in video games and like computers. Like you have probably some of like the most diverse interests out of any of my friends. It's like Lana Del Rey, PC building, guinea pigs.
I feel like that's like why also I feel like our like friendship has been so long too, where I think it's like there's something so like because I feel like you're very similar where I'm like I'm very perplexed by the like ability to like just take in new information, because it's almost to the point where it's like it's about learning. Yeah. Like it's like less about the things, where it's like, and then also just like all the crossover like learning that there is happening too, where I'm like, because I feel like I remember one of the first things about you is like having all of the Jeffree Star makeup and like talking about Jeffree Star because it's like there was like so much YouTube, like it just made a lot of sense. But I think it's like, yeah, when you're able to kind of bring in a lot into your life, if like you can turn it into other things, I think that's like what's maybe strange, or like I don't look at painting as much as maybe I should, or I would like to continue to do so.
Yeah.
Where it's like you like look at other stuff, but it's like the way that you kind
Yeah.
of turn that thing into something else.
Exactly. And I feel like with my work, I kind of do that with like collage and like collecting objects and then like using them in videos or like just
Yeah, totally.
kind of having them exist in my life. And then I don't know, who knows what's going to happen to all these
Yeah.
objects.
Well, that's
but
like the Trisha Paytas, the mannequin. I'm
yeah.
like obsessed with that. But it's
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that thing where it's like, I'm sure the girls know, but
Yeah.
it's like a mannequin with the Trisha Paytas. It's like, it's a Nash t-shirt.
It's a shirt that she wore in a video,
Okay.
and then it's the video playing on a
On her
monitor
face.
on the
Like,
head of the
almost would be the
mannequin.
head, yeah.
And yeah, that piece is really cool. I wish I had that mannequin.
Oh my god, I know. It's like so.
My friend Tiffy's.
We'll have to figure out how to get one of them. I'm
Yeah.
sure, like,
oh, I could put it on one of them. Now I have these. Oh, well, you can't. They're off camera, but I have these little children.
my children.
My children.
They're slay.
Yeah, we just got these 2 children mannequins from this hardware store by our house that's going out of business. But they're just dapping it up in the corner.
And one's wearing fake babe.
One's wearing fake babe. I'll have to insert a picture here so you guys can get a visual of what's going on off camera.
It's very iconic. She said, welcome back to the pod. We're getting our feet out.
We're giving... We're back. We had to... Oh, no. We had to change the camera because the other one wasn't flopped, literally
Like,
died. No, God bless my computer, but
she said, thank you, MacBook.
I know. I've been
actually.
I know. I need Kevin's advice actually on my computer upgrade because I'm trying to get a new computer for my birthday.
Yeah.
So we can have a better, more
PC
efficient.
core.
Yeah, switch to PC.
It's just okay. This is the tea, everyone. Like, I don't know what happened that I don't like. Like, there's some Apple marketing that we have to look at from like 2000s. I'm sure that like this happened in, but apparently everyone was building their computers in like the 80s and 90s. Like, it was like very common to do so.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I didn't like. I just didn't know. But then when it became popular to buy like consumer grade machines, fully like packaged, that's what everyone did.
Yeah.
But the way Apples are constructed, or like Macs are constructed, is it's like you kind of, unless you know how to work on a Mac, you can't like take anything apart. But basically, it's like why you have to like buy new computers. But with a PC, when you build it, you can, like, if you need to buy more RAM, you just buy more RAM.
Yeah.
It's like if you need to upgrade your video card, you can just buy a new video card rather than having to buy a new motherboard. Like, it's like, it just makes a lot more sense in terms of like.
And you can run
yeah.
OS off of a PC.
Totally. And it's like you like set up a little like thing on your keyboard that you just like double click and it will flip to your OS workspace.
Yeah, I need to do that because I just like have like 5 gigs of RAM that just keep like exploding every time.
It's fucked.
It's really crazy. Fucked. And this laptop is just like, it's been really good to me, but I can't run the podcast off of it. And like also so much like streaming software is only PC specific.
It's so weird. Well, and it makes sense
because it's like why would you even try to run that stuff on a Mac? Just
because
wouldn't.
It's
you just like
cook.
It's a potato. Like,
yeah, totally.
But
that's, I feel like I remember in high school playing League of Legends on a MacBook, and it was fucking brutal. Like, it was just like you're always the last load in the game. It was like so interesting. I'm like, this is not a Mac hate podcast, but I'm like, I don't.
Now it is.
I'm like, I don't. What? Someone tell me the positives.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty. They're aesthetic.
But
they're
are they
rich?
I'm like, it just reminds me. Whatever. Reminds me of that. Did you see the Kim Kardashian Donald Judd thing?
No.
She like in a video, Kim Kardashian.
Oh yes.
These are Donald Judd tables, and they're not. But I'm like, her house looks like a damn Apple store.
Okay, well,
in an iconic way, I will say.
That's because Ye designed it, and also I think Ye designed the Skims office, and I don't think she genuinely, I think, did not know.
No, she probably thought it was.
She probably thought it was because he was like, "Babe, I got you these Donald Judd chairs."
Oh my god! Wait, that's like the most like, iconic. Like when someone buys their girlfriend a fake bag. It's like a $90,000 table.
I'm
obsessed with that.
I feel like the whole like Skims office tour was kind of when she was trying to distance herself from Ye, and she was trying to be like, no, but all of this creative stuff is my idea. It's my idea. I came up with Skin and like all of these concepts, even though
So
like
crazy.
Kanye came up with the name Skin and like most of the branding and packaging.
I mean, lest we forget, love you, Kim. We were gonna get kimono.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like someone else got in the room.
Yeah, exactly. We were literally gonna get kimono, and it was gonna be like these like ugly wired bras, and then it became Yeezy season 6, and so
Literally.
we all ate, and like we're all grateful.
Continuing to eat, really.
Seriously. So we're back. Now we're just gonna be doing audio because
Flop
the
camera
video
flopped.
is flopping at the moment. But
You got to see us, and that's all that matters.
yeah, now we're in some other universe.
We're behind a paywall. So.
No, not yet. Maybe one day. But not at the moment. Now I can get really comfortable. One word that describes you.
Oh my god. Flop. I would say I don't even know. I feel like maybe that sound. Yeah, like it's just kind of like yeah, I would say that sound. I think words are like just I don't know. Language is flop.
Language
Like
is flop. Okay.
it's just like
fair.
I don't know. Like
One word.
it almost does what it has to do.
Yeah, one word to describe me.
Yeah. Oh, so true.
Tess.
That's true. Though.
Tess.
Famously,
Kevin.
because you could be someone else.
I could be someone else. I could be Coco.
You could be Coco.
Sometimes I'm
and
Coco.
in that moment, I was Coco.
In that moment, I was Coco.
I'm obsessed with that.
How would you describe your style/fashion sense?
That is so interesting. I was just literally talking about that recently, where I'm like, I feel like I think I look at the object for what it is, and then like it's like kind of like this like jacket that I'm wearing now, where I'm like, I look at the object for what it is, and like less about like what it's like on my person almost. Yeah. But then it's like, so then it does this weird thing. I'm like wearing this like quite loud thing, and you're like, oh, huh. But I would say, I feel like it's what is it?
I feel like you kind of are like, I don't know. It's like eclectic, but it's also hype.
I was gonna say, I feel like I like to dabble. Like it's like, especially recently, I've been like really getting down into the Bape situation.
Yeah, you've been very like you're wearing Bape sneakers, a fake Bape hoodie, like cargos. Like it's pretty hypey.
Yeah, which I feel like
and a polo. Like it's it's very hype.
It's like hard. I'm like almost. It's like I think about like it's always thick men who have the best style in my opinion, because it's like you always see them on the train, and it's like they'll be wearing an entire cobalt blue outfit and like a blue fur coat, and you're like, that's slay. Iconic. Like you ate that really hard, and it's like the skinny men are not out here doing that. No, sorry, no. But it's like it's like weird where it's like almost like thickness is like a part of the like equation there, where it's like the like brain matter is similar, where it's like, yeah, I want to wear jorts that are like to my shin and an afflicted tee, but like I don't know if I would even go all the way there. But it's like interesting. I'm like, because I feel like I do that, but then also just like love a black alpha. It's just like boring, but
yeah. But I feel like you always have good accessories. Like I feel like we were just talking off camera about the rings you're going to be wearing for your upcoming opening in Paris
at Bridget Mulholland Gallery. It's a slay. Yeah. Our friend Mai Toyoshima, who she just opened a store. Have you been?
No, I need to go to my store.
You need to go. It's so slay. It's called Fussy. I think it's fussy.limited Ltd on Instagram. But I just bought these old Q-Pod rings from her, and they're like, if you don't know what Q-Pod is, it's like it's a Japanese brand from like 2000s, I guess. I'm not 100%. So. Yeah, I would like from the style, that's what I imagine. But it was like Lolita fashion, basically. Mm-hmm. So they would make clothes and accessories. But the accessories are like pretty well made in terms of like accessories that are like kind of transient, almost like it's like they're not fine jewelry. You know
no, it's like costume jewelry.
It's costume.
But it's like all it's like plastic costume jewelry, but it's made out of like nice silicone. Yeah. And it's made to look like desserts. Yeah. Mainly, it's like mainly dessert themed. So there's like a lot of macarons, a lot of little cake slices.
Yeah, and that's what I got. It's like one of the rings is like a cake. It's like strawberry cake slice.
Oh, so
and then
cute.
A strawberry like ice cream, and then like a whipped cream that has like little gems in it. They're so crazy.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's funny because the cake and the whipped cream are like feasibly to scale almost of like a
Yeah.
petit four and like a little like dollop of whipped cream. But then the ice cream is like it's the same size as those things, so it feels quite tiny. So there's like this funny relationship between the scale of all the things where it's like
One thing is
something is
not like
off.
the others.
Yeah. But it's like hard to determine what that thing is without like sitting and looking and be like, oh, it's because it's so tiny.
Yeah. No, I feel like
It's like what's it called? The who made the Nicki Minaj chicken necklace?
oh, Onk.
Yes.
Onk Collective. Onk. Was it? Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
Onk.
think it's Onk.
ONCKCH. He was on Paris Hilton's My Next BFF.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with it. I
I
did
used to
not
be
know that.
obsessed with him when I was like that was like I feel like what I think I was like probably middle school, but I like used to go on his website. He also made this like bloody razor necklace
Oh, love.
that like Kate Moss wore, and he made these like pretzel
Okay, yeah.
necklaces out of like polymer clay. And I just remember like
I remember the
seeing
pretzels and the ice cream.
the ice cream, and then there was like the fried chicken leg that Nikki wore. But I think he like Paris had like an art show recently with like art about her, and he had like a painting in it, like an object
Love.
painting.
Yeah, I saw his TikTok recently.
Oh,
Like
really?
someone was talking about the chicken necklace and then he stitched the video being like, that was me. And I'm like, so crazy.
Yeah, no, he was definitely like one of my favorite characters on Paris Hilton's My Next BFF. They made a Dubai version of that show,
Stop.
which I have watched, and it's interesting because there's like also like the modesty component of
Oh, I'm
it.
sure is
So
like
it's
so
really
crazy.
interesting like that on top of like her search for her next best friend, but it's like modest edition. It's like
Everyone is like incredibly straight and like covered up entirely.
no, literally. It's really interesting.
I still love the idea of Paris Hilton finding like a straight male best friend.
Yeah. No, it's all women still on the show.
Oh, but
Or
I thought
maybe it's I think it's mainly women. I think it's all women contested on the Dubai one because
okay,
they
yeah,
didn't want to mix the sexes. I don't remember,
fair
but I feel
enough.
like it might be all girls.
Fair enough.
But on the is it still going? On triggered.
There's a shifting.
Jeff started moving. I'm like, "Oh no."
The earthquake.
Ah, literally. Wait, I was going to say something. Fuck. I feel like I'm just going to turn these lights off since
Since you can't see our beautiful faces.
yeah. Jeff is going to turn the lights off. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. But yeah, okay. So you have a show coming up in Paris and in Margate,
Yeah.
London,
So
Margate, England.
yes. England,
Yes.
yes. It's like yeah, so the show in Paris literally opens today is Sunday. It opens on Saturday, the 13th. I think no. My god. Yeah, 13th. Opens on Saturday the 13th. So if you're in Paris, come through. Bridget Mulholland Gallery. And then I have a solo in Margate on it opens on April 27th.
So
The
exciting.
day before I turned 30. So crazy.
Whee!
It's with this gallery 243 Lose. The gallerist's name is Ed Leeson. He's stunning, really like super sweet and super nice. Shows me called Honeymoon.
Oh, that's cute,
Yeah,
Lana.
very Lana coded for sure.
Wow,
Which is funny because I'm
obsessed.
like I've said it to a few people now, and obviously not everyone's like a Lana stan. And you're the first person to clock it, and it's like
Thank you.
it's
Oh, wow, I'm
interesting.
honored.
Well, it's true. Well, I love that.
Peyton off camera's like me too.
Sleigh. Two people in one sleigh. But there's this iconic interview about, or an interview of Lana talking about honeymoon, and it's like the things that she was talking about were things I was already thinking about, and she like essentially goes on to say like, um, a honeymoon is like the like peak time in a relationship where you kind of like sail it off to sea and wish it good luck and like hope that the boat reaches shore theoretically.
I love that.
And it's like it's all you can ask for is it's like put your best in and see what comes out.
And that's kind of like the attitude of having a first solo show is
Totally.
like you kind of are like hoping that like the situation and everything like works out to kind of best launch you as like an artist into this like world.
No, totally. And it's like what's gonna come is gonna come.
Yeah.
And also just like the idea of a honeymoon is like so it's just so delusional.
Yeah.
Where it's like it is like this like weird like psychic space that you have to like occupy to like it's so, and then like you're with one other person, like it's all so, it's very strange to think about, and also like the like linguistic history of the word is like quite strange as well.
Yeah. Well, I like that the word moon is in it.
Totally,
Very astrological. And honey, one of my
totally.
favorite foods.
Land of milk and honey.
Woo! Um, no, that's so what I don't think I've seen the work that's gonna be in that show.
Yeah, I'll
Maybe
send it to you.
how many
Also,
paintings is it?
it's me 5 paintings, which feels very like succinct and nice. I
Yeah.
was gonna add a sculpture, but I don't think I'm going to now because I thought I was like, when you really have you think you have a brain blast about something, and you're like, oh, I'm literally a genius. Like
Mhm.
everyone is stupid, and I'm so smart. Was like going to make the sculpture out of like triple wall cardboard, and I was just gonna put it in my bag flat, and then assemble it and like finish it there.
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, T. So I like made another version of it just to be like, how's this gonna work? Just to kind of like test run it. And like there would have been no way for me to do what I thought I was gonna be able to do. And then
Yeah.
also I was like, this looks amazing the way it is, and like it wouldn't actually fit in the way that I wanted it to. So I was like, it's gotta go. So now it's just 5 paintings. Or not just 5 paintings, but it is 5 paintings. Which feels exciting to just kind of like really kind of go there in a way
Yeah.
where it's like there is no sculpture. It's like this is what like you're like
It's
here
just
to look at.
paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's good not to add something that you have to do extra on top of,
Well,
like
I think that's the thing is that it didn't feel as enmeshed as everything else because it like
Mhm.
literally wasn't. There was like
Yeah.
a thing on top, and it feels, it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
It feels right for something else. It's just like it's so interesting how like disparate it felt like immediately after assembling it, where I'm like, oh totally, this has to like live in the studio for a little bit longer before
Yeah.
it lives its life maybe elsewhere or never,
Or never. You never know.
which is always kind of a fun like
Yeah, it's
what
interesting.
is going to get released.
Yeah, no, I always feel that way because it's interesting, like, what even people, when they come into your studio, are, like, attracted to.
Oh totally.
Because I feel like sometimes the things that I'm like that I like the most, people are like, don't even, like, say anything about, and then they're like, "Oh, that thing over there that you didn't even think about as art, that's amazing." And I'm like,
Literally,
"Uh-huh."
it's so funny when that happens too. There's like the crumbs where it's like that's, I had a similar experience with this artist Ryan Wild, who I'm obsessed with. She is stunning, but she makes these uh like they're technically hats, which I think is like so iconic because it's like they're felt sculptures, but they're
Mhm.
used like, or they're made by using millinery techniques.
Well, that's cool.
But she came to the studio and we were like talking about, like I was like doing something different, and I had these like two funny like paintings in the corner that were like of these like mannequin heads, and she was like, yeah, we need to figure out how to bring this into the mix, which like was so right. And like there is a painting of that in the show. Actually there's a painting of it in both shows, which is like exciting.
Whoa.
The one in Bridget show is collective mannequin, and then the one in the Margate show is collective mannequin in profile, which I'm like obsessed
Ooh.
with as
Love.
like a thing. But it's like um what's it called? I mean, other people talk about it too, but my like in my mind, the reference is like David Lynch when he talks about like the group dream when you like watch
Whoa.
film, and it's that kind of like moment in which people homogenize and like take something in, and it's like how do you depict something that is vague? It's because it's like the people aren't homogenized, but the thought that is meant to sweep over them is homogenized, but the people who are watching accept differently. So it becomes like everyone like is painted differently through that like experience.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I feel like when work is like you make it, there's like one process that happens, one experience you have, and then when other people start to experience the work, if they do, then like a totally different thing can happen or
Oh,
you
totally.
hope happens. And that becomes kind of like this collective dream, conscious
Oh,
state.
100%.
And then if someone buys it, then it kind of goes into this other like weird conscious state where like it becomes like a commodity, an
Totally.
investment. And I think what's interesting about you as an artist is you also work in the art world. So
Yeah,
you kind
totally.
of have this like 360 perspective where I feel like most of my friends that are artists, but they're not like as involved in like the gallery aspect.
Yeah,
Maybe
totally.
if their careers are like in that place, but I feel like you've seen all sides of it.
Yeah, it's very interesting working in galleries, I will say. I feel like it can be very how the sausage is made,
Mhm.
which can do one of two things, turn you on or turn you off, kind of a
Yeah.
situation. And I think I was turned off initially by the like process of it. But I think that so much had to do with like where I was in my life. Like there's just it was so many other factors. But I think it's like working now, like it just feels like I get to meet all these like amazing artists and they like let me into the studio. Like it feels like funny where I'm like I'm getting to talk to and like see these people's work in like a really like close way that like I have valued at a distance for like kind of a long time. So it's cool to just like where it's like I got to go to Marcus Jamal's studio because we were doing a shoot of work for an Anton show. And it was just like very like sweet to just get to chat and like do the work, but also like see it before it's like out. It just yeah, I don't know. There's like something that becomes beneficial as like as a person who's making something, but then also it can yeah, it's interesting. You really have to make it what you want it to be for you
Yeah.
because it really can go off the rails fast.
Yeah. No, I feel like I don't think I have any other friends that are that intimately involved with like galleries
Yeah,
that aren't art handlers. Like a lot of people I know that are artists are art handlers,
yeah,
but you're an
Arch-
archivist.
yeah. Archivist. Yeah, it's funny. Well, it's because it's like so because it's like I think when you look at a gallery, it's like kind of you have sales staff and then support staff. Basically, is like the breakdown. There's like obviously some like intricacies within that, especially in bigger galleries. But it's like we're on the support staff side, which is like I really like because it's like there's no like quota, there's no like you don't have to worry about commission. It's like all that kind of stuff. But I think it's like the art handler. It's like it's I guess it becomes like a larger conversation too about like the manual labor versus like a labor on the computer and like what
Mhm.
that means like
Yeah.
and like the value in that. And it's like I've been like really lucky to like after school I like taught at a makerspace for like a year. So like I learned a lot of like technical skills and like I graduated fiber at Micah, but
Mhm.
like I could have also graduated sculpture where like I dual majored the entire time. I took like I think 29 it was like whatever 29.5 credits
Whoa.
like every semester from sophomore on because it was just like whatever I'm paying for it, I might as well take them. So it's like I learned a lot where it's like I feel like I art handle too. It's like
Yeah.
I feel like I've made myself more employable by like just having a like multitude of silly little things that I can do.
Yeah.
And I think that's like also I think how you are too, where I think like you just are so skilled at a lot of different things. And I think that's like integral to like survival almost, where it's like
Yeah.
you have to adapt. And it's
Yeah.
like, how are we gonna do it?
No, literally that's yeah, I know. I'm kind of like at this funny point in my life where I just left my like secure corporate job to like I don't know, figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, it's T. I think
And
it's
yeah.
impressive
Thank
to
you.
me. Because
Thank
I'm
you.
like, as at Anton, there's this person, Ava Poe, who is the HR person who hears me
Uh.
complain just about life as a concept every day. Where it's like that kind of thing of like, it's great to see someone just do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where I'm like, sometimes you have to like figure out what you want and then like go at it. And it's like, however you're gonna do it, you just have to do it.
Yeah, I think I like want to be like artist slash podcaster slash Reiki healer
Oh,
slash
slay.
I don't know.
That'd
I'm
be
not
cool.
sure yet, but like I think there's like a lot of multitudes to Tess, but I don't know. I feel like right now I'm just like dog walking and like I just got like a retail job. So I'm just like trying to figure like just making money in the least like oppressive way, but also I don't know, doing kind of like going from being in like a corporate position where like you kind of are like fed almost like
No,
you're
totally.
very comfortable and you don't have to like move even
Well,
like you're
that's
just
the it's
sitting and like
well, it
I
like
don't
breeds complacency.
yeah, and I think it just like led me to just like smoking a lot of weed, being really depressed.
Interesting.
I feel like I think because my job was also fully remote and they just like weren't giving me more responsibility or like more things to do. I just
Yeah.
got so bored that I had like no motivation to do like I mean I was still doing other things and like being productive, but I think I just like I don't know. I think what's interesting about this job like being so in the world again is like I'm literally outside like all the time now,
Yeah.
and it's like wow, like that economy of like being out like being a person who's outside versus a person who's inside.
No, 100%.
It's interesting, and I feel like the art handler is kind of like the outside person
Yeah.
in the art gallery, whereas like but then within the gallery there's also all these
Yeah,
levels
it's like
that I
it's really
think
stratified.
yeah, which I think artists just don't really understand, and I think it makes and they don't teach you about in art school.
No,
They teach you
not at all.
nothing about like how a
Well,
gallery works
it's
or
funny because the fucking academic sphere and well circle and then the art like gallery market da 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 they do not overlap. Where it's like
yeah.
if you go to Yale MFA maybe, but
Mhm.
like it's so interesting how like you. I mean, at Micah, that's all I can speak for. I didn't learn anything. Like it's
Yeah.
like all the stuff I've learned is like through like the like graciousness of the people that I work for. Where I'm like they like, you know what I mean? It's like they are teaching me stuff and it's like I feel very lucky to work with people who are willing to like share information because it's like that's not always the case.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like especially in art. And I think it's interesting. These are like definitely is like a stratification and it's like interns that I've had in the past, it's like can only like hope to just like give them as much knowledge as I have, which isn't a lot, but it's like
Yeah.
hopefully something that someone didn't already know. But it's
Yeah.
like it's through the lens of like someone else probably told me that. So it's like, the hell do I know?
Yeah. No, it's interesting because I feel like, yeah, at RISD, they definitely didn't. I studied film at RISD, so I
Mm,
feel like um, art wasn't even really, even though it was technically like a fine art major, like they weren't, I don't know what they were expecting for us, but I don't think like the art world, like if you were, I felt like the people that ended up being kind of instantly like gallery artists kind of already were doing that while we
yeah,
were at RISD.
totally.
And they seem to kind of have some handle on it or like have people that like quickly swooped in and were like
Yeah.
we're gonna help you get to here because
Well, I was very struck by that one because I feel like when we were like first met each other, I feel like you were around more RISD people, or maybe you're still around them, but I'm just not around them as much.
yeah
Um, but like I was very struck by like how it's like hard to describe because it's not even that it's they are more or less motivated. It's like they are like turned to move in the right direction.
yes
And they are like moving in like along what is that like a hypotenuse. They're like moving along the most like direct path to the thing. Because
yeah
it's like they have been taught like or not taught because that makes it sound like it was like loaded, but it's like they've been like instilled with information. It's like you can do things this way versus being like riled up and let loose.
yeah that's
Like
literally how I felt.
yeah, that's how I felt too. Where I was like,
I was just like, let's go.
no,
Like,
totally.
I was like, I'm gonna make YouTube videos. And I would like literally went to an art fair and like went up to a collector and I was like, hey, I make YouTube videos that are art. And he was
Oh
just
my,
like,
he's like, girl,
what?
what the
He was
hell?
like, okay, you can email me. Like
I'm like, oh, love that.
yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I had like literally no idea what the art market was until like Jeff definitely because he was working in a gallery for a while, like taught me a lot more, but I don't think I really had any idea. I didn't even start really making I was making jewelry, I feel like, and not really even
Yeah,
like work that could easily be shown until like a
totally.
little bit ago because I didn't even really think about kind of that aspect of what I was doing as being like I didn't realize like what it takes for people to even like get to the point where they're like, "Oh, I can see this in a gallery." And you kind of have to do like a lot for them.
Oh yeah.
You kind of have to make it really easy for them to just be like, "Oh, like that's why painting is so direct and easier to show because they can just hang it on a freaking wall."
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's like people. There's so much history to painting as like it's an art form
mhm.
versus like, especially like doing like taking so many fiber classes. It's like like there are so many fiber artists that are like Harmony Hammond to like look at from like the past who are like we're not past like whatever, but like look at all these people who are doing this. But it's like there's very few people who I can think of off the top of my head. Where I think of Diedrich. I'm spacing on his last name. But he makes these like beautiful weavings. They're like pretty figurative and like he uses like mop yarn. They're like beautiful. I remember seeing one in maybe new museum. I forget where though. If it was in the other space or the like a triennial thing.
Mhm.
But it's like there's like a directness to painting that people like understand or something. And I think it's like it's been interesting because I think I came to painting like as a sculptor, basically,
Mm-hmm.
where it's kind of like how I look at painting, where I'm like, the things that I'm making need to be made of paint to have the conversations I want to have.
Yeah.
And it's like, because it's like about that like illusion versus like if you make a weaving, you're like making it like a realized object that like could be a rug, could be a blanket, could be a garment. Like has all this potentiality in its existence.
Yeah.
Versus like a painting is a painting is a painting is a painting, which is
Yeah.
like not bad or good. It's just different.
It's almost like just like a quicker way to make it like almost like enter into the space of like commerce as an art object too.
Totally.
Because I feel like once I started making paintings about like I don't know why I have always like loved painting and been obsessed with paintings, but never like thought I could make them
Mm.
myself. Like I don't know what that was. Like I feel like there was a lot. I think I don't know. I felt like what I was doing I don't know. I think I just was like too insecure, honestly, to like
What
make
I was
paintings.
literally about to say is that's
Yeah.
like, I think, especially if you didn't study painting in school,
Mhm.
there's like there's a big hurdle to get over to like do it. And it's like indoctrinated. Like there's so many reasons why. But I think that's like part of like what makes painting valuable almost is it's like, at least for me, where I'm like, I had to do so much work to get over the hurdle to even let myself make a painting,
Yeah.
let alone make a painting that's halfway decent.
Yeah.
So it's like this like weird like mental war that I'm sieging on myself for
No,
years
literally.
for no reason.
Reason.
And it's like being on the other side of it where I'm like now more concerned about like how like it in like a formal way where I'm like, okay, like how am I gonna make this thing be the whatever da 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 instead of being like, oh my god, can I use stretchers or am I gonna like implode? And it's like, who knows? But it's like I think you and I are similar in the sense where it's like my like making of work is like a compulsion
Yeah.
in a way that's like almost detrimental at times where it's like keeps me from going home and cleaning my room, eating dinner,
Yeah.
like doing things that I need to do to be alive in a way that's like kind of comical to think about in any way where it's like, huh. And also to then top it off, it's like using carcinogenic material.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay,
Okay.
interesting.
Interesting. I know. I feel like yeah, I feel like for me, I mean, Jeff's obviously been like a huge inspiration and like
Shout out Jeff.
shout out Jeff, incredible painter.
Incredible painter.
Incredible painter, like
Like
best painter ever.
the hair dye on aluminum foil is still it's like genius.
Oh, yeah, no, Jeff is amazing, but like just watching Jeff's process as a painter and like I don't know. I feel like for me, my compulsion has always been to like stick things together. Like
Yeah. Was you're a collector.
yeah, I'm like a collector and like I would say like at the end of the day like most of my work is like collage based. And then recently like I've had just like this compulsion to just like gesso things white.
I
Like
okay, so have you looked at Cy Twombly sculptures?
yes.
Okay,
Is-
so that's like it's that kind of thing where he talks like what is that fucking quote? Mm,
I love
like
his
he says something about, like
sculptures.
white, it's either white or white paint. But he says like white paint is my marble. And it's like
Yes. Oh my
it's tea
god.
where it's that kind of thing of like, yeah, like manipulating the way that you view the object to be something that it's not.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you can just make it look like marble because it already kind of does. It's like adopting these properties that are there inherently.
And I think it's also like when you own like a lot of stuff, it's almost like a way for me to like incorporate things that I collect into my practice. And it also feels like there's this like weird perversity that I feel when I paint the thing white. Like I take away what
Mm,
it is
totally.
and I like strip it and I'm like, you're mine now, bitch. Like
No, totally. Well, and you're homogenizing it. Where it's like
yeah.
this thing is now no different than the thing next to it,
Exactly. And it's like all and then I can just like
and it's like
glue
a
it all
skin across
together.
the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
it is quite weird.
Yeah, and then it's like I don't know, I like to think about, like, if someone were to X-ray my paintings, there'd be, like, all these little
Oh,
eyes staring at them.
love that.
Because there's so many toys that are just, like, completely, like,
Just
whited
caked
out and
in.
caked in, and you can't see them anymore. But, like, I don't know, I feel like for me, yeah, letting myself paint or even thinking about I feel like doing this podcast and, like, talking to some of the painters that I've talked to, like Josh Smith and Chris Martin, I feel like in talking to them, I was just like, "Oh, like, if they're doing it, like, why can't I just, like, start doing it?"
No, totally.
Like, literally, like, what
It's like we are the only people putting the
these
hurdles in
limits
our own way.
way.
So when it comes to something like this, it's like there's no one in the room with me. Well, there's no one in the room with
Room.
me, theoretically, in my whatever, in my mind, um, telling me that I can or cannot do something. But trust me, I'm telling myself that I can or cannot do something, which is so crazy.
Well, and I think that's what stops most people from creating things, period.
No,
Like, I
totally.
think, like, most people have creative instincts and should create. Like, I think creating art is, like, one of the only ways you can have freedom in this life. Like, you
Yeah,
can
totally.
actually have, like, power over something, even if you don't show it to anyone. Just making a drawing or, like, making a sculpture or just weaving, like, whatever you wanna do, knitting,
Yeah.
just creating something that is yours, I feel like gives you so much agency and just gives you a space where you can, like, express yourself. And I think it's so hard for a lot of people to like give themselves permission to even start doing that. And I think that's like, I don't know, something that like I really want to like promote with this podcast is just like for people to like that don't consider themselves artists or like don't make art to like just give it a shot
No, totally.
just for funsies
No, and I
like
think that's the thing. It's like I also think my friend Fred, it's like I don't know if he refers himself as an artist now, but I knew he wasn't at a certain time. But it's like the stuff he makes is amazing. And it's like this is as art as anything else is.
yeah,
And I think it's that thing where it's like sometimes it's like less about the intention in in the space that we're talking about where it's like sometimes you just gotta get over the damn hurdle and make the thing. Glue the thing
yeah,
to the thing and it's ugly and keep it moving.
yeah,
Where it's like, you know, it takes 50 things to make one nice thing. And it's like, and
exactly.
even that one nice thing may not be that nice. Like it's like,
Then once you make another few 50 things, you're like, "Oh, that thing that I thought was nice kinda sucks."
no,
Like
totally. And then you like look at things next to one another. It's like even when I was making the Margate show, it was so interesting to see the trajectory of like where things went and like the things that I like removed and like went back into. Like it's like it's interesting to see like how it all like culminates as a thing outside of itself as an individual object. Where it's
yeah.
like now there's a conversation between these 5 paintings.
Mhm.
And it's like, what is that conversation versus the conversation that the one thing has by itself?
Yeah.
And it's like that thing, like the like referencing like theater and like looking at like through the lens of like video games, like all these things that have rules. And it's like, well, what happens when you like put like 10 sets of rules on top of each other and like make a new lens out of it? And it's like very freaky because everything is so the same. Where it's
Yeah.
like there's very few things in the world that are like actually like different. It's like
No.
reminds me like the like 4 seed religions, like how like essentially
Mhm.
we're all telling the same story at the
Yeah.
end of the day. And it's like,
No.
huh.
Huh. No, it's really interesting. I feel like, in expressing yourself, you're kind of expressing nothing, which
Totally.
I think is, like, what I've been kind of had this, like, dream recently where my, like,
You have a
grandma
dream.
came to me, and
Is your
she,
grandma
like
with us?
no.
Okay.
And it was weird because my grandma had dementia and passed away, but in my
Okay.
dream, she was, like had gotten over dementia, and she was just, like, an old, like, wise woman.
Whoa, that's cool.
And then she was like, "Tess, like, everything in life is the equal sign. It's 2 lines that never meet that mean nothing."
Girl, it's tea. She's right.
And I was just like, "Whoa,
She's literally
subconscious."
so right about
I was
that.
like, "Oh my god."
Wait, that's tea.
I know, I, like, woke up, I was like, "What?"
Wait, what the fuck?
Isn't that a crazy
Wait,
dream?
when did this happen?
Like, 3 days ago.
Okay, love. I need to hear that, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
Because it's
but
tea. Because it's like I think about what's it called? Did you ever watch Full Metal Alchemist?
no, I
Brotherhood.
need to.
It's good. You would like it. But there's like a it's like a flashback
Mhm.
where like the two brothers get put on this island basically by their teacher and they have to like live there for a month and like no food, no water. Like it's like girl, make it work. Um, and essentially like their goal is to like figure out the meaning of the world. And essentially when the teacher comes back, they come to the conclusion that like you it's like one is all and all is one is like their conclusion. But it's
Whoa.
like they talk about like the grass that grows from the ground that the ant eats, then the bird eats that. And it's like this kind of circle of energy and like how you have to be thankful for the seed that makes the grass because it's like it's what
I
made the
love
chicken that like
that.
let us be alive or like
Yeah.
this kind of like it's all net zero at the end of the day because it's
Yeah.
like the thing that feeds us will be fed on and it just kind of keeps going until it stops.
Yeah, I feel like I've had those moments when I've been dog walking where I like zoom out on myself. Like I
Yeah.
imagine I'm in like an airplane and I'm like seeing myself walking the dogs down the street and I'm like, wow, I'm like
A little
not I'm
bug.
like a little bug, but also like
Not even a bug.
I'm
Like a
not
piece
even
of
like I'm
dust.
like literally like a little piece of dust with these little dogs and like I could be like anyone and anything. And I think that's like what I kind of like about the dog walking is
Mm.
like at the end of the day, like as an artist, you kind of have to like convince yourself that you're this like person that has this like perspective that people like need to engage with and people need to listen to you. But like when I'm walking the dogs, it's like, no, this is like humbling as fuck. Like
Oh,
nobody
totally.
cares like about me at all. Like I'm just walking their dog. Like
No, totally.
like I could be anyone, literally.
Yeah, it's like and
Like
it's like you're so aware of like the way that you're being identified.
mhm.
And it's like obviously like so class based in that sense because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you deal with the dog. Where
Yeah.
it's like not even the nanny dealing with the baby. He's like the baby's more valuable theoretically.
Exactly. No,
So
you're
it's like you're like
like
roughing
people
it
people don't say
theoretically.
hi to me when I enter their homes. Like
Ugh.
they like literally like I've like looked at people and they just like close the door and like don't want to look at me. Like
Shut up.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my
like
god.
crazy.
Not surprising, unfortunately, but also like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like really interesting. And then I think like then to kind of like perpetuate myself like online and like
Oh,
as
totally.
like an artist or like even have
She
success
said,
as
"You
an
don't
artist.
even know that I run narrative."
Yeah, you don't even
Flop.
know that I'm the real. Excuse me.
No, literally. She said, "I'm going to talk about you on the pod,
Yeah,
loser."
loser. But it's honestly like really liberating in a way to like be in touch with like the nothingness of yourself because
Oh, totally.
I feel um like when I was working at my previous job, like it was like so much about like kind of like performing like this role of like video
Yeah.
producer. Like I didn't even have really like that many of the responsibility. Like I did a lot of the technical stuff, but like within the company, like I wasn't really given like the creative control of a video producer. I
Which
was
is
just
so crazy because I'm like, I feel like you're so good at that kind of stuff that it's
yeah.
like, especially like you were doing toy videos at one point where
Yeah,
I'm like,
we did stuff
girl,
for Walmart.
give Tess the mic.
Yeah,
Like,
let me cook.
yeah, like literally, where I'm like, if
You
she's
don't
going to do one
understand?
thing good, it's going to be a damn toy ad.
Yeah, but they did not want to let me
But I don't see
cook.
the vision.
No, I
These are
think
flops.
because I think my vision was like whenever I proposed ideas, they would just like silently take them and run them to other meetings and then
Oh,
like
of course.
they would happen and then they would just be like, "Wow, we just sold like all these ads." And I'm like, "Well, that was
Girl,
my idea
no,
and no
literally,
one
it
gave me
happens
credit."
everywhere. I'm telling you. It's,
Do you feel like that happens at the gallery too?
yeah. I mean,
Well, I guess that's kind of different because there's so many
yeah.
different like ways of it's hard like
It's hard
I
because
don't
it's
really
also, it's like,
how do even ideas like come about and like whose idea are the shows? Like is it the
so it's interesting because it's kind of like a melting pot where it's like, usually, like, it's kind of like, there's a schedule
yeah.
essentially where it's like when you work with an artist in a gallery, it's like usually they'll have a show every like 2 years, something like that, in like a main space, or depending on how many locations there are, da 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 da. So it's a kind of like it's already like laid out, but then you're like adding new artists or like doing group shows with other people. So it's like you definitely have to kind of like throw an elbow if you want to get
Mhm.
something done.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel lucky in the instance that like I work with people who will listen to me,
That's
which
cool.
is shocking. Not shocking, but I think it's just like I've heard horror stories from other people where it's like that's just not how it is for them. So it's
Yeah.
like I feel lucky in that like they're like there's at least some level of respect for my opinion. So like bless up for that.
No, that's
Um,
amazing.
but it is like it's nice because I think in the gallery I'm at, it's like way more collaborative in the sense of
Cool.
like you kind of you are like forced to need other people to do stuff, which I think can create maybe a negative dynamic or a positive one where you're like, okay, well, I need this person, so I should build a positive relationship with them so that like
Mhm.
we work well together. And it's like, as long as it's like, and also I'm like never like angling for anyone's job or anything. So it's like, I
Yeah.
think people like see me as like someone who's just trying to do a good job and like
Ally.
make the artist happy. Literally, she said, say something, Valentina. Ally. It's true though, because I'm just like, at the end of the day, like a gallery is theoretically like a self-sacrifice where it's like yeah
Ooh.
like someone's name is on the door, but it's like we're all running around like with our like a chicken with a head cut off to get the artist show done the way that they want it because it's like it's important and like we should get it done the way they want it because that's like what our jobs are literally. So it's
Yeah.
like buckle up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I think in its like highest form it's like this group of people who are kind of like lifting up one person or a group of people to like be seen, and like they like emphasize that it's important by like being like, we're using our time to make this person visible.
Wow. That's so interesting because I feel like galleries that like you don't really think about that when you go. I guess like a lot of the
Yeah.
shows even that I don't know, like I feel like a lot of the shows that like people are in kind of like our friend group are in are like such smaller
Yeah.
up there's like not really like that many spaces in New York that are showing like early career artists right
No,
now.
it's so funky how it actually is.
It's like really bad.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
kind of sad, to be honest.
yeah, because it's like I feel like there's like 3 spaces maybe.
Yeah, it's like I can think of like a few off the top of my head, but it's like even
Not
in
gonna
that,
name names, but
she said,
you know
stand
who you
up.
are.
No,
Stand
literally.
up and get your act together.
No, literally. But it's like
Stop.
but it makes sense because it's like it's so hard to
So
run a
hard.
space where it's
Yeah.
like, I feel like, did you know me when I was doing the Croc Salon thing?
Briefly when you were doing the shows on the Crocs,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think I had like an idea I wanted to pitch to you.
Ugh, love that.
And I
I
like
wish you
didn't
did.
get around to it.
It was
Kevin
like
was doing oh my god, I forgot
it was
about
so
that.
chaotic. I was doing shows on Crocs, which was like
Literally Croc-based gallery.
literally 2016 tea. She said, catch a vibe. Also, I was doing it before. Okay, this is the real tea. So my friend gave me a contact at Crocs to pitch them the like idea that I was doing, and I did. And then like months later, they started doing collabs with other artists, like releasing like like the Post Malone. Like they started doing that like 6 months after I like emailed them. No response. I'm sure they were doing it beforehand,
Yeah.
but like side eye about that. Um,
Crocs.
but this is all to say that running a gallery on a pair of Crocs drove me up a damn wall. It was so hard. Like, it was so hard to be the person who's liaising with the artist, who's like getting the work, like transporting the work, photographing the work, making the post. Like, it's not easy. Not that I ever
No.
thought it was, but then when I put myself in the position to do it in like a really, really, really tiny way, it's not easy. And it's like makes sense why there's like not that many like like that many DIY spaces. But
Yeah.
it's like there are like smaller, like they're not smaller, but it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like they're, I think it's like they're not it's like it's famously mid tier, which is
Yeah.
like kind of a great place to be at, where it's like you get to show like cool people who may not have been shown, but then also like you don't have like the psycho like overhead of like selling works that are $1 million.
Yeah. No, I feel like even like I've organized a bunch of stuff and like it's so much work. Like you were in
Yeah.
a show I organized last year,
Oh yeah.
War, and that was like it's funny because it was like 8 artists and it like I feel like looking back I'm like, "Oh yeah, like why was that so crazy?" But like just coordinating like pickups,
Yep.
drop-offs, photographing, like I photographed all the work. I organized the press
Which looked
release.
really good.
Thank you. I mean, and God bless Nick,
Yeah.
who runs drama because he's amazing and
Very
like
sweet.
working with him is like the best. And so obviously like he was incredible and like just the best person to work with. But it's so much work and like now I'm organizing a show like zine fair
Oh,
thing.
cool.
Um and that even is like so much work.
Well, it's just like it's hard to coordinate with anyone, let alone coordinate with someone about something that is so like meaningful to them.
Yeah.
So it's like every interaction is kind of like high, not tension because it makes it sound negative, but like high, it's like high stakes, I
Yeah.
guess, where it's like you just never know.
Yeah. And then even like showing at like kind of like the place where I'm at, it's like all of those experiences feel like high stakes because you're like, oh, like, is this person that I'm going to show with, like, are they going to respect my work the way that I respect it? Because you never
Totally.
really know with like DIY spaces or with like people that are kind of starting out smaller galleries, like where their intentions are and like how they're going to kind of even like treat your work. Are you going to get your work back? Like, is it
Totally.
going to be broken? Like, or like my new approach is like, I'm just giving people work. Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you show my work, I will give it to you because I'm grateful that
Yeah.
you're showing it. And I
No, it's tea.
also have so much work at this point that like I was actually inspired by Jeff with this move because we were talking about this, but like I want people to have my art. Like
Yeah.
I at this point in my career would rather people that want to show it and like are excited about it to own it at no cost. The cost is just like putting it in a show
No, literally, and doing all that work.
and doing all that work because it's a lot of work. And so if you're going to put that work in, like you can keep it. Like that's completely fine. And I want you to have it.
No, totally. That's actually so nice.
Thanks.
Yeah. That's kind of slay. Love that.
Yeah, generous. And then I feel like it leaves a good like feeling for them because then they're like, wow, like now I get it.
Like it was
And
like
they
for
obviously
something.
like wanted it because why would they have like gone out of their way to like organize this whole gallery
No,
situation in
so
their
true.
whatever, you know. So it's like interesting because I feel like
It's also even just like the way, like how you connect people.
mhm,
That's like I had known of Brittany King's work prior to being in the show that you had organized where we were both in. But it was like through that show we got to like chatting and like we did visits with each other and it was super nice. And it was like nice to get to see like what she's working on and stuff. Like it's like that kind of thing where it's like that like coming together of people can also be the impetus for other people to come together again later down
exactly.
the road,
Yeah.
which is like I think critical. It's like the only way for
Yeah.
like people to connect with one. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you're just setting the grounds.
And I think it's really important for like artists to have like for if there is going to be like a successful art movement to come out of America for it to be connect like artists to be
Yeah.
connected to each other and that's
Well, and
part
that's
of
how that it's always been.
and that's how it's always been. And I think now there's like this impetus on like shows being like I feel like with Instagram and everything it's like you kind of are isolated. Like you're
Yeah.
like you have a profile, you post pictures of your work. You don't necessarily have to be friends or connect with other
No.
artists
Yeah. Yeah.
to have a career, but like how what's like and just like from my understanding of art history, I'm like there needs to be community around
Yeah.
artists for there to be longevity. And so that's kind of like why I'm doing the podcast, why I have like narrative warriors, like why I am interested in like community building for like obviously because I like believe that people should connect over art, but also
Yeah.
because I'm like I want to like start something
No, totally. And
that
I feel
like
like
brings people together but also creates like a narrative and like a connection between a group of people because I don't see that necessarily happening
well, I think in America it's
naturally.
like there's such an individualism, a culture around individualism and
Exactly.
like da 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 da. And especially like I think what you're talking about, this like advent of Instagram, these Instagrams also a platform for like other businesses. And it's like I think I think it's like less like I think it's less in the zeitgeist now, but I feel like I remember in like from like 2012 to like 2016 like like constant call out of like different people about making like copying or something like this kind of,
Oh
which
yeah.
I found so strange because it is this thing where it's like, yeah, people came up in groups, like they were making similar things. It's not the
Exactly.
same thing, but it's like definitely like there's a reason why they were shown together.
Yeah,
So
and
it's like, I don't know. I think it's like instead of looking at it as like an enemy, it's like, oh, this is a person that is clearly looking at similar things. So we could be friends based upon like common interest.
yeah, like let's not go to war against each
Yeah.
other and like be like you're copying what I'm doing.
Which I think
You
is less now, but like still where it's like there's always more room for overlap.
Well, and I think that's what I don't like about like the culture around Instagram and like the culture on like social media can be just like so negativity based. Like
Yeah.
it really, I think the platforms are like created in a way to like instill hate in people's hearts and
Oh,
create
totally.
cynicism. So I think that it isn't necessarily like, even though it has all of the capabilities, like technically to be a
Yeah.
place for people to come together, it's used on like I mean, when you're going on Instagram, most of what you're doing is like comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
And like they know you're doing that. Like they know that like there is like it creates anxiety, depression, like all of these things within young people. Like they are well aware of that and they're like continuing to feed that with the algorithm. So I
Oh, totally.
just feel like I try to use that to my advantage.
Well, yeah, because I think it's just a tool.
Yeah,
And I think that's like
literally.
I totally get that, like why this happens to people. I guess in my mind, I'm like, like it's a fake image. It's a thing made of like it's like it just is not. I don't. It's also it's like part of my job is like literally photoshopping like shadows, literally. So I'm kind of like how much of this is real? Anyway, so it's like this kind of thing where I'm like, I'm already suspending my disbelief getting on the app where I'm like, that photo is not real. Like it could be real, but I'm like, girl, the amount
Most
of
of it's
things
not.
that you fake all the time, not like you, the holy you
Yeah.
fakes, it's like it's crazy. Where it's kind
No.
of like meh, like
Eh.
whatever.
I really like how you post on Instagram. Like you do a lot of like carousel posts where they're
Yeah.
just kind of like random images or like moments in your life and you're just like caption, description, description, description of each thing.
Which I also like, it just is the best way to post, in my opinion. Because it's
Yeah.
kind of just like,
It's a feast.
no, it's literally a feast. There's like, and it's also, it's like, it's so much like a part of the work where I'm kind of like, just the things that you're like interacting with like on a daily basis are like the things that you like choose to put in your life. Like it's like I think about like Jennifer, my guinea pig, where it's like she's literally at home right now, and that's so crazy to me. But it's like just like looking at her like run around the cage. It's like that's an animal.
Yeah.
It like looks like a ball of hair. Like it's like it like they're just like moments just in the world that's just like, oh, that's like insane. Like that's like so alien that like that it just is the way it is, and it's like nice to just like log them where it's
Yeah.
like here it is.
Here are my like, and I feel like it kind of what I like about posting is like posting can be art
Hmm.
too. Like you can post your art, which is amazing, but
Yeah,
then you can also like make a post that's kind of like you're using the form of a post as like kind of a construct for like
it's like a drawing. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And I really like that about your posts. I feel like they're really poetic, but like not serious.
Well, I think that's the thing is it's like
It's just like fun.
everyone needs a little brevity, you know,
Yeah.
and I think it's also that's like it's like humor is like such a great vehicle to get across so much like of anything because it's like so poignant because it's like for something to be humorous it needs to be like it has to have multiple layers,
Mhm.
and like those layers inevitably are more complicated than if they were just said alone.
Yeah. No,
'Cause it's like you
totally.
have to understand culturally the like significance of what's being said for it to be funny.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like what I was doing for a while on Instagram was like kind of layering
Yeah,
images and like kind of just like I don't know, like pulling things from different parts of the internet and just bringing them all into Instagram and being like,
yeah.
"Hey, look at this. Look at that
No, it's like
now."
kind of genius.
Okay. Walmart, Target, or Amazon?
That's so interesting. So I would say Target's flop. I hate Target. I
What?
I don't get it. I'm like, I think it's maybe like Target. I don't get it. Actually,
Really?
period. I literally just don't get it. I'm like, also, I have a vendetta because I went to go try to get when they re-released the Monster High dolls. I went to a
Oh,
Target in the city and they did not have them, and
Target's in the city flop for
they
sure.
are flop. I'm like a suburban Target, sure,
Okay.
slay, but a
Those are pretty
suburban Walmart, girl, that is the tea.
No,
That's like where
that's
everything is.
true. That's
It's like
true.
I where I grew up. I like grew up in Philly in like it's like like whatever. It was like in this weird part, but it was like near the Franklin Mills Mall, which is now called something else, Simon Mills, I think, or something. So if you know where that is, that's where I grew up. Um, but there's a massive like super Walmart that's like you can buy tires for your car
Whoa.
there where it's like they have like a garden, like it's like that kind of vibe, and like my friends and I would just go to Walmart and like look at the makeup in the Walmart, and like that's what we would do on like a Saturday at like 10 p.m. You know what I mean? And it's
I
like,
love that.
and it's so I'm like Walmart just has a place in my heart where I'm like that's where you go when you're like ugh, like post Red Robin and like full of a blue ribbon burger, like feeling like you're gonna bomb, and you're like oh my god, like I need to go look at the elf makeup
That
for
sounds fun.
whatever reason. Um, what was the other option? Oh, Amazon.
Amazon.
I feel like Amazon, it's
Do you
like
have a Prime membership?
I do, which is bad. But like, I don't, is it bad? I guess
I don't know.
it's bad.
It's fine. I don't
Whatever.
have one. We use Jeff's mom's. Shout out Joanne.
Oh, that's why I used to use my mom's and I had to get my own.
Damn.
Classic. I
Sorry.
mean, it's fair enough. Like, whatever. But I will say it's like, it's great for like, for the Q pot ring, one of the gems fell out and I was able to buy a Swarovski non-flatback crystals on there for like weird, like it's like I could have gone to the city and get it, but that's also I didn't have time. So it's like it's good for weirdly convenient,
It is
like stupid
convenient.
stuff.
Yeah.
And also like I will say I find things on there that I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. Like I need to like have this thing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
That's how I feel about AliExpress.
So I try to get into AliExpress. So also I'm making a book for the show, which has been really fun to do. But I was initially going to get it like printed in China through AliExpress because you can't get like it's going to be there's like children's like early education books.
Mhm.
It's like a board book, but like
Oh,
no
whoa.
one in the fucking country makes them.
Yeah, that's
Except for
hard to get printed.
there's this like little it's called what is it? Pint Size Productions. It's like in New
Interesting.
York.
Mhm.
And they'll do it. It's not offset, which is like not my super favorite, but it'll be fine. But AliExpress, like you can I did it by accident because I just hit yes because I wasn't reading. I like put in a quote or I asked for like a quote from one company and then I like hit yes to something that was like allow other companies to see this request. And my inbox was flooded with options. And I was like, this is
Ooh,
iconic. Like it's like if I had 2 months to do it, I would have easily gone with one of them.
good to know.
Where it's like it just does all the work for you. And it's like
Yeah.
they'll ask you questions about like the specificity of like what you're trying to do. But it's like they were all like properly like allocated. Like it's like there wasn't like a weird like clothing manufacturer or something thrown in there by accident.
Damn.
So I was pretty impressed.
That's cool. Well, if you need a board book printed, you know where to go.
Literally.
I think I'm gonna start up my drop shipping again.
Love that.
I've had like multiple like random drop shipping eras. Like I used to drop ship on eBay Hello Kitty knives, and then I was
That's so
briefly
iconic.
drop shipping Hasbula keychains on Instagram. But I've like only just done one product at a time. I'm not
I
sure
love
why.
that being like you can only get this from me. So
Yeah.
if you want it, here it is. But if you don't, good luck.
Well, I feel like I just like really have a lot of like faith in AliExpress. And like
Okay.
a lot of people, I feel like whenever I like tell them to shop on AliExpress, they're like, I went on there and it like,
But I think that's what's good about it. Is it's
yeah,
like
it's
if
like,
you're weak willed, you're not gonna also to even go all the way back, I downloaded Temu. That app is crazy.
I cannot stop
I
getting
like
texts from
AliExpress.
Temu.
Temu is scary. The parents who are on Temu, how do they? I'm mystified. It gave me like 5 like video like spin the wheel for a percentage off, and I was like, it wanted my phone number. I was like, whoa,
I can't stop getting texts from Temu because I bought a dental like teeth cleaner on Temu.
like a water pick,
No, like like a more like a plaque
more abrasive.
remover.
Oh hell
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like a vibrating
yeah
metal
yeah yeah yeah.
pick.
Okay. Oh, like
Yeah,
a real dentist thing.
like a real dentist
Oh, that's scary.
thing. But it worked.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Timu is the scariest thing on planet
And I got
Earth
microfiber cloths to
okay.
like do
To
like
clean the.
image transfers and like clean
Oh,
the dog's paws.
okay.
Like both like
How do you do the image transfers?
Oh, I just do
Oh,
Okay, image transfers. People don't talk about how easy it is to do image
I've only ever
transfers.
done it with like matte medium, gel
Yeah,
medium.
gel medium.
Okay,
Gel
yeah, yeah.
medium, and then you just like lay it down and then you just like rub it off with a wet towel.
Oh, I see why. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I
I
just
thought
use
you were like maybe using the cloth as like an intermediary, like you were catching the image on. I was like, I don't know how you're doing that.
no,
Like
it's not
sublimation printing.
it's
Well,
not
like you know how they
powdering in
float?
there.
They do the sublimation
Yeah, and then
printing.
they float it and then they stick the thing in
I love those
it.
videos. Those I think are
No.
on the level of like the Subway Surfer videos.
Yeah. Oh, I need to like start doing podcast clips with like the sublimation printing and then like
Oh, oh my god, that'd be such a dream. I feel like I had to stop doing it, but I listened to those on TikTok. The like, am I the asshole? Or like any like Reddit story that's like it's fake, but I'm like I'm so riveted.
Oh, when it's like a video of someone icing a cake and they're like
Yeah, it's like
and then like my ex-boyfriend told me that this and this happened and then I broke up with him but then 6 months later he did this and am I the
yeah,
asshole? Like
no,
that kind of story?
yes, exactly that kind of story. Like where it's like, um, my husband wanted to hit me in the face with cake at my wedding, and I said no. And then we went back on forth on it for like a year, and then he did it, and then I divorced him, and I was like, whoa. And I'm like in there scrolling to find where it says just watch so I can watch the next part. Like I am, I don't know, like cooked, but like in like a lovely way. I feel where I'm like sous vide, where it's
Yeah, you're
like
just like
in a warm
perfectly
bath of vibes, and just like, but I think it's like because you inspire like I'm not sure you still have it, but your phone jail.
Oh, yeah, I still have my phone jail.
I have a phone jail too.
Oh, you bought
I bought a phone jail because of you.
a kitchen safe?
No.
or just like a box with a lock timer on it.
With like the holes so that if I need to call like my mom, I can. I don't
Oh,
know who I
whoa.
would need to
Mine
call.
doesn't have a hole.
Yeah, mine has like it's like holes where it's like around. It's like they're like strategically placed where it's like the ability to like swipe up. So it's like you can still like you could make a call feasibly, but if you were to try to text, you couldn't because you couldn't see the screen.
That's crazy.
So it's
Yeah.
like just like I do it in the studio because I'll
That's
watch my
amazing.
video essays and then I won't watch them, but I just like listen in my ears.
Whoa, wait. You need to give me a link for this because I have
Yeah, it's
just
cool.
my kitchen safe where I put my phones. I still have 2 phones, even though one of them doesn't have a phone number on it anymore.
What's that song? Two phones.
I've got 2 phones,
Phones.
one for the plug and one for the money.
Literally. Oh, I
Um,
went to a pawn shop today and they had
wait, where did you find a pawn shop?
it's on Myrtle and I don't know what it is. It's Myrtle. It's by the Rite Aid. It's Eddie's pawn shop. And they did 2 things very well. They did a lot of things very right, but they did 3 things really right. One was a gift that I almost got you, but then I realized it was new, not old. They had 2 Justin Bieber watches in the case,
Ooh.
but it was like so evident they were made in like 2022. But it's his old face. So it's
Oh,
like kind of cool.
that's cool.
So we have that in one case, and then I walked around in this pawn shop also does piercing and tattoos. And in the back,
Obsessed.
they have
I need
this
to get
like
a job
black leather
there.
chair. It's so cool. They have this black leather chair, and above it is a framed print of Daisy De La Hoya for
Yes.
some unknown reason. I'll send you the
I
photo.
love
It's
her.
incredible. And then I turned around from there, and in the window behind the like bulletproof glass, they had a chain with a giant electrical plug on it. And I was like, I need that immediately. But I'm like, it's so specific to like a vibe where I'm like, I love it as like an electrical plug. Like I'm like, I want to carry around like an outlet cover. Like that would be
Yeah.
so slay. I'm like, huh.
Maybe you should make your own version.
I'm kind of like, I would love to. That's like, do you know Kalin Higgins?
No.
They make like they do tattoos, but they're also making rings right now, and they're very slay. But they're like it'll be like a ring with like a pebble like trapped in it in
Ooh.
the prongs. Um, but it like watching them do this, I'm like, I feel like it's like seems like there's like an attainability to like making like quote unquote like not I guess it's fine jewelry because it's like made of like sterling silver,
Yeah.
but it's like doesn't have like gems.
Yeah.
But I'm like, like I definitely could.
I know. I feel like I'm like into I'm about to dabble back into making jewelry again, I think.
You should.
But I
I still have one of Jeff's earrings
Oh my
from like
god.
from that. Remember the shop that you did in the like driveway?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
no parking pop-up.
yeah. I have because Dawn was in it too.
Yeah.
I also have those ear. That's like so funny. I have like also my ear holes closed, which I just figured out. But the only earrings I still have are these like little people that Donna made, and then this little like yarn person that Jeff made.
The
So the
Jeff
only
earrings are
earrings I
iconic.
have are like depictions of people,
I'm obsessed with that.
which is like okay,
Yeah, I really want a chain. When I went to the Kanye
you need a
show in
chain.
Miami, um, Lil Durk was wearing this like moon chain, I think. It was just like a diamond chain with like
They
the
look
moon on
so
it, and
good.
it was like really dark, and there was like all this smoke, and it looks so fucking cool. And
It is like a beautiful like
I was just like, I want to be covered
art.
in like a huge diamond necklace that
Yeah.
like, oh, like,
That's also at the pawn shop. They had a huge chain that said CEO, and I was
I
like, totally.
need a narrative chain.
Yeah.
I need a narrative chain. I also want to get like a narrative tattoo. I
How
need to
many
like
letters
link.
is narrative? Is it
I thought about it. I think
just do
it's
rings?
yeah. Ooh, I was thinking
Because I
about
want to get
tattooing
my
my
name as
fingers,
rings. Oh, love.
but
Also,
that would
well,
be kind of I don't know.
okay. This
Hand
is good.
tattoos, I'm not
I
sure.
was about to say this is my pet peeve. Not pet peeve because it's not. It's not a peeve. It's just a. I'm perplexed by a pet perplexed. When people get hand tattoos but no other tattoos, where it's
Mm.
like you're wearing gloves. It's very strange, but it's like people will get like Ariana Grande famously
Mhm.
hands blasted,
Yeah,
nothing else.
she has a few up here.
Does she?
Yeah, she has
I feel like I saw that in.
Eevee,
Oh,
the Pokemon, I think.
oh, does she?
Yeah,
That's not surprising,
she has
weirdly.
a Spirited Away tattoo.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Because I feel like I saw there's the I heard it was maybe Zach saying who was
yeah,
interviewing her,
yeah.
and I was like so shocked when she was like moving her hands around. I was like, whoa.
Oh,
She has a lot
I
of
have a
tattoos.
painting with her in that interview.
Okay, I love that. Her hair is looking so interesting lately.
I saw her in person.
What was it like?
She was exactly how I thought she would be. And then I had like a bunch of dreams about her that I like was her afterwards. Like
Oh,
3
love
dreams, like where
that.
I like was Ari.
Okay,
But
this
she was
is.
like
Do you
this.
do dream journal?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I write them down.
I need to start doing that because I feel like you are really good at recalling them.
I'm pretty good at recalling them. I don't write all of them down, especially because I stopped smoking weed. They're like there's a lot of them, and some of them I'm like, please God, I
That's
cannot
so.
write this
So I've never
down.
smoked weed before.
Ever?
Ever. Period.
Wait, what?
So I took a like drag, I guess, of I guess a joint once, and it was like did nothing, and I was like, I don't understand this, and then was like, this is not for me.
Good for you.
But I feel like everyone says that like it like fucks their dreams.
Yeah, you don't have dreams.
That's insane.
It's pretty weird.
Is that not like? I feel like that's red flag to me. Where I'm like,
That's probably true.
is it not changing your like brain chemistry?
Oh, for sure it is.
But I guess everything is.
But I mean, yeah,
This
I
makes
think
me sound like don't like weed. I literally don't care either way. But I'm just like
I mean,
like it's interesting to me to not have dreams.
it's weird. Yeah, like it takes away your dreams and then they come back like stronger. So they're
Oh,
like more intense.
okay.
So like especially when you first stop,
Wait,
like
that's cool. Do
like
you dream in color?
yes.
Okay.
Um
Also, can you see like if you think of if you close your eyes and think of an apple, can you see that apple?
yeah.
Is it like vivid?
Yeah.
Is it like red? Like
I've thought of a green apple.
okay, fair enough.
But I mean, like I could see like an apple on a table, but I feel like more so I would see like a pile of apples at a farmer's market, like
Oh,
apples, like it kind of I feel like the way I think is like more in like motion.
that's cool.
Like I'm like a motion thinker. Like I don't know. Like when I think it's like video game or like a video
Oh,
in my head.
that's cool. I
Yeah.
recently realized I don't see anything.
You just see nothing.
I see like blackness, and that's it. Like I can like think of the word, and like the word almost appears, but like I think of nothing. And I that like what's that saying?
Mind's eye.
Mind's eye. I thought it was like a saying, not like a literal thing,
Yeah.
until someone asked me this question, and I was like, I was unable to conjure an apple.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I was like,
So like what is your like when you think about things during the day, like do you go into like a word place or do
I guess it's like a word place, but it's like I dream in color and like like it's like
you
that's
like
like
see things in
normal.
your
Yeah, I
dreams?
am. But it's like if I were to make like if I make a painting in the studio, I take a photo of it before I leave because then like on the train home when I'm like decompressing, I will look at the picture of the paintings. I can't see it.
Interesting.
It's like very like I
You
didn't
can't
think of
see
it.
like any pictures at all.
No, I can. It's almost like I can remember where things are because that's like that part didn't leave my mind. Like it's like I know like that like swatch of color is there, but
Yeah.
it's like I couldn't see it.
Interesting. That's so fascinating. Yeah, I feel like for me, I feel like I can see things and I think
Interesting.
about them or like I'll like today when I was like thinking about maybe quitting my job dog walking, I was like seeing the dogs smiling faces at
Like
me.
fading away,
Yeah,
like
I
turning
was
into
like
dust.
I was like,
She
"Oh,
said,
I'm never
"Bye,
I
Bigsby."
was like I was like, I'm never gonna look into Augie's eyes, and then I like see her eyes in my head looking at me, her little face, and I'm like, oh, I
Oh,
can't say no to your little face.
oh
Like,
no.
okay, see,
Slay.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
that is crazy.
Yeah, once you get going, you kind of like don't realize how long.
It's like happening. Well, it's also
Yeah,
it's like just like
we're just talking. We're just
literally
talking.
the girls are getting it out.
What's the last concert you saw?
That's so crazy because I feel like I haven't gone out in so long, which is so flop. I'm trying to think because I was supposed to go see Horse Girl and then I just didn't go. Which I'm like, why
Oh,
did I not do that? Me and Maya were gonna go, just didn't go. Who did I see? I literally couldn't tell you.
my last concert was Travis Scott.
Yeah, I feel like you're a real concert goer.
I love going to concerts, but I
I feel
love
like a concert is like the exact triangulation of things I
what?
dislike.
Oh, that wasn't a concert.
Oh, I went to the what's it called? The Philharmonic. But that was
Oh,
like a
okay.
year ago.
Me and Jeff went
But
and saw Avatar with a live orchestra.
see, yeah, that's a similar vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had never been before. I went with my friend Andre, and it was like
Was it fun?
it was really fun.
I
It
feel
was
like
like
that counts as a concert.
I think so. It was like also it was like this funny where it was like Andre's also a painter, but he like is also very into music and like it's like whatever. It was like some Beethoven. It was like a Beethoven thing that is performed by this like really particular like conductor that like apparently everyone really cares about, and it was like a really great show. But like the Philharmonic has not stopped hitting my damn line ever
Oh my
since
god.
because I'm under 30, and it's like they're trying to get
Come
the
back.
young ones back in the damn
Yeah.
theater.
Ugh.
Avatar,
Yeah.
like Way of Water Avatar, also.
No, no, I wish. I
What kind of
wish.
Avatar?
Like Avatar: The Last Airbender, we went with my
Oh,
cousin
what the hell?
and we saw like they played like
Like the movie
no,
or
like
the
the
TV
TV show.
show? Yeah.
They like
Well, didn't there was a flop Avatar movie?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like a recent live action one. Yeah, they played like the TV show, which Jeff had never seen before. um,
I've only seen a few episodes of it. It really wasn't into my. It wasn't a part of my taste. I don't feel.
yeah, no, I mean,
I would have.
I'm
I
not
think I would have
mad
liked
at
if I
it.
watched
It's
it. But
fine. It's good. I
I
feel
like
like
Toph. She's called.
yeah, it's vibes. I mean, it was interesting. It was yeah, it was like a live orchestra
Okay.
scoring the TV show while they played like clips from the TV
Wait,
show.
that's. Oh wait, remember that thing we went to? It was like kind of a while ago now. The silent movie.
Yes.
That I was like. That was
Yes.
the coolest. And that was not the coolest thing I've ever seen in my
That
life.
was
That's so
really
dramatic.
fun.
But it was like it was so fun. I was like,
We should do that again.
what was that show
Which
or
one
the
did we
movie?
go to?
So Tess and I went to Film Forum, and it was like, wasn't it? It was like a kids Sunday thing. Like
Yeah.
it was a
Was it
kids
a
theater.
Harold Lloyd one did we see?
I
Was it like the clock one where he was like dangling from the clock?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was like at Film Forum on Sundays in the day they do like a matinee for like kids, so it's like a really cheap ticket. But it was a black and white film that they live scored the film.
Yeah, with piano.
It was
I was obsessed
wild.
with going to those for a while. I was
It was
like
so cool.
that was my silent movie era.
I love that for you. I mean, it's also it's like I feel like the people in those films are so beautiful. Like it's like so
Yeah.
interesting to like see like
Oh, I love class or like 1920s 30 cinema.
it's such a vibe.
Yeah,
And also
that,
feel like Film Forum always sounds like cool stuff.
yeah, I
Like I
love film
saw
form.
what's it called last year at Marienbad there with my friend Camila, which was super nice.
Yeah, we should go see another movie there
Oh my god,
soon.
yeah. They just did what's it called Japanese horror for the last 2 weeks, and I didn't get to
Oh,
go because I was doing something that was probably annoying that I couldn't go.
damn. Well, we should go see a concert. I don't know.
Yeah,
We
I'm
should go
like
see like
what?
a stadium concert.
I want to go see Lana,
I
obviously,
know, obviously.
but
Yeah.
I'm like, how do we get tickets to that without like selling a kidney?
I know. I know. I know. I kind of want to go see Nikki when she comes to New York,
Oh yeah,
but
I thought wasn't she here in Jersey?
oops, maybe we missed
I think
it.
she might have been in Jersey. Um, yeah. I also am like I want to see Lana in like a bar. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's like
I feel like she is kind of doing those like smaller
yeah.
venues now.
Well, I almost flew to fucking Alabama or whatever it was when she announced that show on a Wednesday, and I was like, I could take off work Monday, Tuesday.
Me when I
And
went to go see Kanye in Miami.
no, literally, I was like, I could just fly to Alabama, and I was
No,
like,
it's like
girl,
you
it's the ticket's still $500. Like it's like it's not cheap.
it's not cheap, but
It would have been. I'm like, I still get to hear A&W
yeah,
live.
live. No, I feel like concerts are interesting. I really like I don't know. I had like a moment where I was like obsessed with like the stadium arena thing and we saw Lady Gaga, Blackpink,
Oh, that's wait.
Travis Scott, Justin
When did
Bieber.
Lady Gaga perform again
We saw
for
her
Chromatica?
yeah, we went to Chromatica
Okay,
Ball
yeah, yeah.
and that
Okay,
was
also, like,
iconic.
why did she call it that?
Why did she call it that?
Yeah, because I'm like, we did Monster Ball.
Because it was
I guess just ball again. Why not?
why not?
Fair enough.
She like didn't really move that much.
That's not surprising.
She
Wasn't
was
she like her hip is bad? Something.
yeah, she has
Oh,
she has
I was thinking about the Azalea Banks tweet that was a picture of her candle, and it was like a typed out list, and it was like
oh yeah,
Lady Gaga, raggedy hip, Lana Del Rey, allergic to fillers, Elon, what's her name? Oh, sorry, Grimes, trapped under Elon Musk's foreskin. There was another one that was also iconic. Oh, wasn't there a Rihanna? No,
no,
I don't think she would come from Rihanna. There was another one that was also really funny.
they were really funny. There was yeah,
I loved Raggedy Hip.
raggedy hip,
Oh, Charlie XCX, Ashtray.
ashtray.
Oh my god, the mind of a mastermind.
Yeah,
Really.
literally.
I mean, so talented. and so just in the vibe, in the flow state.
That's like a season 7 narrative is having her on the podcast.
Oh my god. That's like a burn it down afterwards where it's like, what else do we do?
What else do we do? I feel like
That's like peak vibes.
That's like peak vibes. I mean, Azalea Banks, come on the podcast, please. I don't know if I could take it, but like,
girl,
I'm ready for it.
That is one of the few people in the world that I know I cannot take the heat from.
I don't think I could take the heat, but
actually, no, I could. I lied. I could.
I feel like I've been bullied enough that like
I was literally about to say. I was like, honestly, she couldn't say shit to me. That's already been said.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So it's like, girl, try it.
What are you gonna do?
Because
Call me stupid.
I was about to say, you're just gonna
call
like
ugly.
It's gonna just be a more intelligent read of something that's already been read at me.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like whatever.
At
least it'll be funny.
Yeah,
I think that is like one thing.
At least
she
I'd get clouded from it.
I just think she's so funny. Like it's like she's just one of those people. I'm like, you have to be so smart to be that funny.
Yeah.
And to like literally make an Instagram post that just says Charlie XCX ashtray is crazy. To then be like post. It's like, fair enough.
I wish I like had the balls to be mean on Instagram, but like every time I post something that's like even slightly shady, I'm like, Jeff, should I post this? He's like, no. It's like,
it's never good.
Take it down.
Also, I'm like, maybe it would feel better.
I'm like, it feels good for a second, but then you're like, what did I do? What did I do?
I think there's a conscience, but I think that maybe other people don't have that.
Yeah.
Or maybe they do. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I just like everything on my Instagram has to be like love life.
Well, you're very like warrior of God, which I think is interesting to me. Because I went to Catholic school for 18 years, so I was a different type of warrior of God. But it is interesting because I'm like, I understand what you mean in like alchemical, like God is the earth, God is like material, God is like spirit, like da da da.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I am obsessed with like live, laugh, like light. Like,
yeah,
it's just so like what I need when I see it on Gram. I'm like, thank God this is being pushed to me.
Yeah, thank God. Tess is like, inshallah.
No, literally. I'm like, it's tea.
No, I feel like I've chilled down on the God stuff a little bit. Like...
Do the girls not like the God stuff?
No, I just think it's not like my faith has shifted. But
she said, I'll always be a Christian. You can't question my relationship with Jesus. Period.
I think there was like a point where I was like really like like through like Justin Bieber and Kanye West really discovered that like Jesus exists.
Oh,
like,
Jesus is out here.
Jesus is real. And then like I feel like
that's my favorite thing about so when I work with Paige Auerbach.
Mutual.
A mutual that you went to high school with. Or I'm
associated with.
So that
I smoked weed at her apartment.
Which is slay. But for what so Paige doesn't know much about the Catholic religion. So on more than one occasion at lunch, me and my other coworker Mary will be talking about like some weird Jesus thing that like we have in common because we grew up in Pennsylvania together, and like there's this weird like, I mean, mine's trauma. I don't know about Mary's. And she will just be like, what the hell are you talking about? Because it's like, it's so second nature to be like, oh yeah. And then the tongues of flames over their head when the like Holy Spirit came in, and Paige is like, what the hell's the Holy Spirit? And I'm like, well, you know, it's like
that's me to Jeff.
No, literally, it's like the air. You know what I mean? It's like we have the Father, the Son, and like the vibes.
The vibes.
The Holy Spirit is the vibes. Like doesn't have a body, but has a feeling.
Yeah. No, exactly.
A sensation.
Yeah. I feel like for me, like I definitely like I had this like spiritual awakening like maybe like 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, where I just was like, God is real, like he walks among us. And then I was like, I'm just gonna become like a God poster and just like, and I like started praying all the time.
Did you read the Bible?
No.
Okay.
No, it was just like a vibe. It was just like I just listened to like a lot of Justin Bieber. I just like
we have all different
to
religions.
So many Kanye West interviews where he talks about like the Wyoming era, and I was just like, yes, like. And then Jeff was like, I don't think you really get it, and I'm like, no, I got it.
She said, you can back up.
Jeff was like, I don't feel like you really understand what's going on with like the God Jesus thing. Like
I'm obsessed.
And
with
I was
that.
like. General.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Like, I got what I need. Like, let me just keep going. And so then I was like, also, like, Muslims, I see you. Inshallah. Like,
totally. She said, all of you. all of you are valid.
Come through.
Which is true.
Which is, yeah. So then I kind of, like, just started, like, shit posting about God. And then.
I am obsessed with that sentence. I was shit posting about God.
Just like,
She said me posting verses on
just like,
Graham.
just like,
Carousel of verses.
yeah. And then I was just like, I was just feeling like the spirit of God. Like, I was just trusting in God. I was just like, God protects me. I love God. But then, like, recently, I'm like, nothing. Like, I don't know if I like, it's not like I'm more nihilistic. I feel like I've always been like fringing on
Yeah.
nihilism, but like,
Well, it's hard to be like that and not sound like a cringy teenager because it's like, even like when the oral surgeon was making fun of me for like, I was like, that's not what I meant, even.
oh,
Where it's like, you can't go into that territory without someone like rolling their eyes.
yeah. And
And it's kind of annoying because I'm like, it's tea. We're on a rock. Like, shut the
yeah,
hell up.
yeah, like
Like,
everything is made out of rocks, also.
no, literally. And
We're
the rocks
talking
are
in
important.
rocks.
And that's the other thing is like the animism of it all, where it's like, as if you're better than that rock. Flop. Where it's
Flop.
like, that rock supports millions of lives. And what do you
Yeah.
support? No, you can't even support yourself. Like,
No, seriously. I mean, and then like, okay, now my new thing is like dog, God, like
dog
dog.
God.
Dog is God backwards.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And like when I like,
Linguistically
and then when
accurate
I
in the
like,
English language.
and then like when I'm with the dogs, I'm like, fuck, like they know so much more than me. Like,
It's kind of, yeah, fair enough.
and I'm like, they are like sniffing all the time. They're
They're
listening,
learning.
everything. They're learning
Yeah.
all the time. They are like letting us have them in our homes.
Yeah.
They could bite the shit out of us at any point. Like
No,
they're
totally.
like wild animals. Like cats, I feel like are more close to like kind of like fucking us up at any moment, but dogs are really like they put it like aside. They're like,
Well,
no.
cats are, I almost think, not necessarily the opposite, but I think like cats, it's like on their terms.
Yes.
Where like
Yeah.
dogs, it's like, it's more on our terms, weirdly. Like it feels strange. Maybe it's not that it's the opposite because that feels like contrarian, but like,
I feel like dogs like are willing to give up their power to us,
mm,
just like the way people are willing to give up their power to God.
totally.
And I feel like in that, like, it makes it like this I don't know, just like being with the dogs all the time, I'm just like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, because they're
Like,
like looking for like affirmation, which is so
yeah,
interesting to think about, like, especially with like when you like train a dog, where it's like it does something initially for like a treat, but then for so on and so forth, it does it for like essentially like the reward of affection or like the reward
yeah,
of like someone just being like that was correct.
yeah. And then also what's interesting is like, I feel like kind of like seeing sometimes when I see like the parents or parents, as they call them,
No, they
in the
don't.
dog
The
walking
paw
world, the
rents.
parents, like the way that the dogs, like if they're with their parents, they like will bark or be aggressive towards other dogs, but if
Yeah,
they're with me, they won't be because they don't
they're
feel
not
like
protecting you.
they're not protecting me.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I notice like once the dogs get to know you, also they like reveal more of their personalities. It's really interesting. And I'm like, whoa, like
Yeah.
also there's so many fucking dogs in New York. Like you don't even think about like the fact that there's like like there's definitely at least like 1 million dogs in the city.
Oh,
And
easily.
they could like run this shit if they wanted
And they're
to.
pooping all over Chelsea right now.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. There is not one corner unpooped in Chelsea.
I mean anywhere. Like
It's shocking.
it's also really interesting, like, dogs' relationships to trees,
Hmm.
like, dogs are drawn to every single fucking tree, like, you can it's, like, hard to
But
get
there's
a
so much gossip on them where I'm like, they're looking for that pee. Like they want to smell it.
they wanna smell it, but also, like, the energy of the tree, I feel like, attracts them, like, they wanna be next to the trunk of the tree,
Interesting.
and, like, I feel like they just, like, are drawn to, like, high volumes of energy, like,
Yeah, totally.
there was, like, an electrical, like, malfunction on the street, and there was, like, all these signs around it, like, "Don't bring dogs next to it or kids," and the dogs just, like, would not stop getting near it. I'm like, "No,
Yeah,
get
you're
away,
like
dogs. You're gonna get
literally,
electrocuted."
yeah,
I'm
not the
like,
place to be.
"Not the place to be. I can't have these dogs get electrocuted on my watch," but, I was just like, "They are energy readers, like,
They're feeling the
they're
vibes.
literally feeling the vibes." Yeah, and I practice Reiki on the dogs,
Oh, love.
and then I'm like, it's working."
I feel like Reiki is real. I will say, where it's like my mom is like, she's a doctor now. She was
Yeah.
a nurse
Uh-huh.
when I was growing up. But she like very much believes in like Reiki. Like I think her thing is more like you need to do both. Where it's like
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
reason why people live to 100 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also like there's definitely a lot of space for like alternative, quote unquote, like healing things where I'm like, of course, like laying of hands would make someone feel better. Like,
Yeah,
duh.
duh.
Like it's so obvious that's like stupid. Where
Yeah, it's like not even that complicated. It's like
yeah,
obviously if you touch someone else, they're gonna feel your energy and feel like slightly better because you're giving them like your presence and your full
yeah.
attention energetically.
No,
Like it's
literally.
literally not that deep. You're not like sending them a magical current. You're just giving them attention and directing your absolute energy towards them.
Yeah, and like concern that like someone cares that you're literally alive,
Yeah, and you're
which is
just
like a lot more than some people can get sometimes. So it's
yeah.
like, you know,
No, I feel like it's like I don't know. Maybe like my thing with the God stuff is it's not that I like don't like I'm not less believing in God. I'm just like, wow, like it's not that deep and I don't need to like shout it all the time, but I will keep God posting because like it's fun. But
you know what
like
they say? What is actually I don't know what they say. It's something to the effect of like, don't let the left hand know what the right hand does, whatever.
Whoa.
And it's about like when you donate, you're not supposed to say anything about it because it's like it's not about that. Like it's about
Yeah.
just making the donation. It's like about loving God. You don't need to shout it. But also then Catholicism, they like want you to shout it, which
Yeah.
is like the weird thing I think because like in like Judaism that is like not the tea. Where like
No.
the girls are not interested in like collecting other individuals.
No, well, because you're not allowed to collect anyone
Yeah,
else.
yeah, it's a
Fucking, you're born into it or you're not.
yeah
So
team
it's like you're part of the tribe
unless you're
or
Tish
you're
Paytas.
out. Yeah, exactly.
Slay.
Slay. But no, I feel like it's interesting. Like Judaism is definitely like growing up Jewish and like whatever. Like I feel like God is like they kind of are just like, yeah, God's everywhere. It's whatever. Like it's
Yeah,
not a big
yeah.
deal. Like he doesn't have a son, like I don't know. But like I was really into like the glamour of like
Mm.
God. I was like, but like God, glamorous. But then it's like I don't know. Now I'm
I
like
love the
in my
glamour of God is so slay.
but now I'm like hashtag Buddhist. Um
Oh,
not yet really. I'm not like fully in my Buddhist era, but like we'll
we're
see that
moving our way towards
we're
it.
moving our way toward the Buddhist era. It's like once I have enough energy to go to the Buddhist temple, then we'll see. But like could go monk, like could go bald head.
Oh, that'd be
That'd be
slay.
slay. I feel like that would really shake it
I
up.
also like love an XP bar that's like it's not full yet, so I can't
I
get into the
can't.
Buddhist temple.
I can't.
I
I
have to be
haven't.
level like 14.
I haven't gone to the Buddhist temple initiation yet. That's $5, but
Interesting.
I
Oh,
will.
interesting. I
It's
love
like
that.
there's like a Buddhist temple that I actually my first day dog walking. I walked past it, and I was like, I'll be back.
She said I will be going there. Don't
I will
worry.
be going there. I will be going there, and I will go. It's like a 4 hour like initiation service you have to
Oh,
go to, and I was like, every Sunday, I'm like, do I feel
it's
like
intense.
sitting with my feelings for 4 hours and staring at
Probably
a
good for you
wall?
then. Yeah,
But I'm like, no, I don't yet.
not yet,
Not yet.
but
I'm not there
soon.
yet, but maybe I'll soon. I'll be desperate enough to
Have you
do
ever
it.
read about alchemy?
Yes.
Okay, team. I was gonna say I feel like that is like so like it's in that like zone of like it's like religion and also really old science
Yeah.
that is like neither here nor there theoretically, but like
Yeah.
interesting in like a not quite religion, but also like in that zone of like spirituality, perhaps.
Yeah. I feel like that's like the theme of this podcast. People are always like, "What's your podcast about?" And I'm like, it's about modern day
It's kind
alchemists.
of tea, I would
Like
say.
it's like I feel like art like it like I feel like I like to interview artists, but also like people that like literally alchemize things into their lives. Like
Yeah, totally.
and I feel like that's why you're really interesting because I feel like you've like created a really unique like lane for yourself in the art world. And like as an artist where like you've kind of like just in everything you do, it's like so unique and like so distinctly like
Oh, thank
you.
you.
And
Yeah.
like it's like there's no other way to like put it.
No,
Like it's just
totally.
like Kevin, like
Yeah. No.
period.
Well, I think that's the thing. It's like interesting when you asked me about the fashion things. It's like in my mind, it's so like it's just like my like it's like weird because it's like sounds like again that like individualistic thing, but I'm like I can only like identify it through my own lens because it's like it is like only me through my own brain. But it's like yeah, like the Jeremy Scott like built in like abs and like pecs like track jacket is like that makes so much sense to me. Or like why like that is like the like why are we not all making that like
Yeah, no, exactly. But I feel like yeah, I think that like I'm really interested in people that are like really like themselves and through being themselves like energetically attract like the things that they want in life to happen for them.
so T. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can only hope that's what's happening because it's like it is true where
Who
it's like
knows?
it's true because it's like it is kind of a like you when you are doing that thing of like working towards something or like attracting things like this kind of like actively making stuff like you need a bit of a like a net to kind of
Yeah.
screen, because it's like a lot of shit will just come at you.
Yeah, and like a lot there's like endless possibilities and like what
Yeah.
you can make and how you can make it and blah blah blah. And like I think that's like what stumps a lot of people is like they kind of are like, oh, there's like it almost I think stops people from making art like the endlessness of
Yeah.
it or like the fear of like copying.
I think I think it's a lot of that endlessness, because I think it's like this is like whatever it is, but it's like that's the existence.
Yeah.
Like it is pointless in like the most iconic way, because it's like you can do whatever you want,
Yeah,
because it's like
exactly.
there is no real like, so it's like just go make that fugly painting. No one's gonna
No one's
hurt you.
no one's gonna
Like
hurt
it's
you and no
fine.
one has to know like or like
Literally no one has to know,
like
because
no,
that's the other thing too. It's like like, have you met Samara?
yeah.
Yeah, like Samara Brenneman makes the best paintings I've ever seen ever, and it's like she would like make stuff in her room, and it's like now she like we like shared a studio, and like she's like definitely like being a lot more outward with it, but it's like that kind of thing where I'm like, this person was literally in their room making these like amazing work. Same with Jeff too, where I'm
Yeah.
like out here being secretive, and I'm like, stop being secretive. It's slay. Let the girls see it. Like they need to see it.
Yeah, no, literally.
It's like for the betterment of everyone else, which is like maybe like A, it's selfish of me to say that, but I'm like also like B, girl, like we need to. I want to see it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be selfish. Sorry about it.
Yeah, no, literally. And I feel like that's what's like cool about the internet is like as an artist, you can literally just like take a fucking picture and post it and
No, totally.
like who cares? Like you have like in no other time people have existed they've been able to share like art so easily.
Literally,
And it's
or
like
have had the time to make art. Where I'm like blessed that I'm like privileged enough to be here on the sofa doing this, because I like have the time to like make work and like think about it.
yeah.
Where it's like people don't even have that. So like the idea that someone has that and is like afraid of it is like you got to get it moving.
Yeah, you got to get it moving. Just so like other people can also like then getting moving. Like everyone
Yeah,
can get
because
it
it's like the
moving.
betterment of everyone else, which is like again maybe like a weird way to like, or a weird reason to want to do it, but I'm like
I think it's like it's so altruistic.
so team.
So God-filled.
I'm slowly becoming a god shit poster. Honestly, I kind of think I am secretly, but like I just don't talk about
Yeah. Whoa. That's
it.
deep. That's
Hmm.
deep. Okay, wait. What's your favorite song right now?
Okay, so I've been listening to. Let me actually look, because I've been listening to the Charlie Boiler Room set, because
Okay, I've been
Danny.
meaning to watch that.
It's really good. Danny sent me the like local files, so I've just been able to like listen to that on my phone. But on Spotify, oh, I listened to Britpop by A.G. Cook on repeat. This, do you know this? Miss Bashful.
Whoa.
It's this song
Jeff was
Mushi
just
Mushi
I don't
that's
know
like
this.
remixed by DBDD and someone else. But I'm like, it's a sleigh. I'm like, oh, Stereo Love. Like, do you everyone knows the song? No,
No.
you know the song.
Okay.
I can't play it, because whatever. But like, you know what I mean. You'll listen to it and you'll be like, oh, it's that song. But
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like recently like discovered it again, being like, this is the best song that's ever been created.
I need to listen to it.
And
I
then
need to
Andre showed
stop
me this
listening to
person.
Vultures every single day.
Okay, fair enough. I was gonna say not surprised. This person's Simi Living Life.
Whoa.
He's Slovakian. Again, Andre showed him to me, and he sings only in Slovakian, but
That's
it's
cool.
so fucking good. I'm just like, it's just such a vibe.
There's some Slovakian real fans.
Really?
Yeah, because like when I made my book, someone in
But
Slovenia,
I think it's a
Slovakia.
different
No,
Slovakia. Yeah,
never mind. Never mind.
slay.
Sorry.
Slovakia is also where what's it called? Well, it wasn't. Was it shot there? They shot Hostel there, or it's. Uh, I think they shot it in Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic. Oh my god, I sound so stupid now. Cut that out. She said Jeff.
Jeff.
Literally, it's in Hostel is shot somewhere else, but it's meant to be in Slovakia. It's like one of those
Oh.
things where they like, you know what I mean? Blah blah blah.
Are you patient?
I think I have the potential to be, and I am, but I am also so yes, I've become more patient. I am
Mm.
a person that if something was broken, I would I would break it more and then be like, well, now it's totally broken, so it's fine now. Versus being like, if I just wait till tomorrow, I could get the tool. Where I'm like, I'm better now. Where I'm like, I'll wait till tomorrow to get the tool. But it is a work in progress. Are you patient?
Me?
Yeah.
Jeff, what do you think? Kind of, not really.
Okay.
Jeff says it's not my strongest quality. I think no, I'm not patient. I mean, no, I like instant gratification.
Fair enough.
I like I think I yeah, I'm trying to learn to be more patient. I think yeah, no.
Okay, interesting. Because I feel like when I thought of patience, I feel like I think about like I can wait forever for something. Like I like love like do you know that Noma book about like it's like fermenting and stuff?
Yeah.
Like learned how to lacto ferment and it's like takes like days. But I'm like that I'm like I love that kind of stuff. Like I love something that takes a long time. But it's like there's something about like urgency, I guess, of like other like I'm like I don't need the gratification right away, but I'm like if something's like again, it's like if something's broken, I'm like I can't handle it.
Yeah. I feel like I can't handle if something's broken, I'll just throw it away. I'm like
Yeah,
done.
like freaks me out.
I'm
Or it
like
doesn't freak me out, but just like
I'm like
makes me
upset.
uncomfortable.
I'm upset. I'm like,
Yeah, like I'm like left or like yes, it's that where it's like I'm left with the reality that like I can only blame myself and I have to sit there with that.
yeah.
And that makes me like want to explode.
Yeah, I hate when things break. Yeah, no. I feel like I'm not very patient and I could be more patient. But I like instant I like shopping. I like I was just gonna say I like drugs. I don't like I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do them, but I mean, whatever. I like to feel things when I want to feel them
Totally.
all the time. I like social media for that reason because you don't have to be patient. You can just like and story post, story post,
I
story post,
literally
story
was
post.
watching a TikTok that was like our like attention span is like less than it was like no, it was talking about how like people are struggling to meet other people because like we're so used to being able to like scroll past something when we're like fucking bored with it that we can't like deal with like sitting at a bar with a new person. And
Yeah,
like
no,
as they
I
were
feel
saying it,
that.
I literally scrolled past it. I was like, shut up. Like,
Don't say
oh my
that
god, I
to
get it. I
me.
can meet new people. I'm not dumb. I'm just
I just don't want
like I'm here in
to.
my bed on my rectangle. Like let me be on my rectangle. You're like taking my fun away.
No, literally. I sometimes I'm like if I am talking to like a new person, I'm like, let's speed this
And totally.
up. But not really. I mean, I think
It all depends. Like I feel like it's like when you're really in it, it's like so nice because you're like the time flies. But
the
then
time
other times
flies.
you're like, I am like doing like a full on performance that I should get paid for.
No, literally. I'm like, where's my like treat? Like I'm
Totally.
like, what
I
are you
went on
gonna
a
do
date
for
with
me?
someone that like we were at a bar and I was like getting drunk and I was like I had not been drunk in a long time and I was like oh my god and we were like let's go back to like my place and I was like I kind of just want to stay here because I'm like enjoying my own company in this moment. It was like so weird. I was like I like it was so obvious that was what was happening in the moment. I could even feel it where I was like this person's not giving me much but clearly wants to sleep with me but I'm like enjoying talking at them. And I was like, that is so twisted.
Me all the time,
No, literally, I'm
Jeff.
like, you know what?
No, I
We
love
all have to find out
talking.
Jeff.
I know. But no, yeah. I feel like I love like talking and like
Talking is like the most iconic thing that's ever been invented.
oh, thank God for talking.
She said, language is ass, talking is amazing.
Talking is amazing. I don't need that many words.
No,
Like
I need like 7.
I need seven. I need like. I need God.
I need slay. I need,
Slay.
oh my God, reminds me of that Doja Cat video where she's like, one of my hobbies is, and I'm like, literally, it's like that sound where it's not a tongue pop. It's just like you're like moistening your mouth.
Mouth
Literally,
sounds, everybody. I feel like we should end it.
slay.
All right. This has been another episode of Narrative. Thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing. Make sure to follow and stay tuned for more episodes. Love
Wig.
you. Bye.
Bye.